Hello, Aries, and welcome to your reading for the week of February 6th through 12th, 2024. It's really funny. When I started this reading, I keep saying April instead, and I don't know what the meaning of that is, but that's quite interesting. This is a reading for you if you are Aries Sun, Aries Moon, Aries Rising, or have some other significant Aries placement in your chart. If you're new to this channel, welcome. It's good to have you here. If you do like this channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to make sure you don't miss these videos, which come out at some point, usually on Monday. I shoot for Monday morning, Eastern Standard Time, which is New York time. But sometimes there are technical delays and other things that happen. Last week, it was a migraine headache delay, so I didn't get to finish videos until first thing on Monday morning, and it takes forever to upload stuff. So anyway, we shoot definitely Monday at some point. If you're returning to this channel, welcome back. It's good to have you here, and I do hope this reading ends up being helpful for you this week. If you check down the description below, I have the links to my website, to my PayPal for donations, and also to my social media for my Instagram, which is transition.life.coaching, and then on Facebook, it's just Transition Life Coaching, which is connected to Liminal Reiki and Liminal Tarot. So if you're not familiar with the way I do these readings, I do an astrological spread. I do the 12 houses of astrology, and I try to read as broadly as possible because remember, this is a general reading for Aries. And if you say that you're an Aries Sun and you're saying, this doesn't really seem to apply to me, you may need to look at the reading for either your ascendant, your moon sign, or if you know your chart and some other significant placement exists, maybe that's where you need to, that's the reading that you might need to tune into for the week. So we're going to do the 12 houses of astrology and interpret it in terms of those. And again, as broadly as possible. If something doesn't resonate, please leave it. And it's not, then that's probably not for you. And I read it with the cartouche cards, which is an Egyptian system. And again, those of you who have been watching this channel regularly know that what cartouche is. And I'm going to clarify with the tarot deck. And this week, the deck is the Angel Tarot. And then I'm going to use a oracle reading deck for the week and do an oracle, pull an oracle card to kind of tie everything together at the end. This week, I'm going to use the Fairies Oracle. So, okay, so that's, let's get started on your reading. Okay, so first house, Aries, this is your personality, how you present yourself to the world, how you want others to see you. And we have Earth with the 9 of Wands. Okay, so I feel like you've been, so 9 of Wands, you're very, very tired, okay? I feel like you're maybe even a bit defensive right now, maybe keeping your boundaries up from people. Like 9 of Wands is a card that they call the Wounded Warrior. And so I feel like you maybe these days, you feel like maybe a lot of people are trying to take from you energetically. And like you really need to kind of refresh here. You need to get grounded. Earth card seems to indicate a need to get rooted and get grounded. Focus on your root chakra, focus on that energy. This could have to do with eating certain foods that are grounding. A lot of times starchy foods like potatoes and things are grounding in nature. And, or it just may be like you may just have a hankering for something, in terms of food, and you may be thinking, oh, I don't normally eat that, but there may be a reason you're craving it because maybe you need to get grounded in some way. Earth card also indicates needing to be practical, and perhaps your focus mainly on practical things right now, perhaps on making money, on the flow of money, and also just on general mundane kind of matters. So, and these may be taking up a lot of your energy as well. It may not be people, but it just might be the situation. So, so right now I just feel like maybe you've felt like you needed a little bit of a retreat and maybe a sense of needing to get your feet on the ground again. The second house for you is the Taurus energy, and this has to do with your finances, your personal finance, your values, your possessions. It's strong Venus energy here. And you have air with the Hierophant. Okay, so again, we're looking at something very, very traditional. When the Hierophant comes up, we are definitely looking at traditional structures, tried and true ways of doing things. Maybe you're dealing with an accountant or a financial advisor, because the Hierophant can indicate somebody who is an expert in finances and so an expert in something. I mean, often this is considered to be connected to religion, but the Hierophant to me just represents anybody who represents a tried and true way of doing things. Maybe you're thinking about making some traditional investments. If you are an investor, you know, there's always the line between risky investments versus more slow growing but solid investments in terms of your money. You know, less of a risk of loss when their markets change. So maybe you're thinking about something like that. Now you have it with air. So this could indicate communications that are coming in about your finances. It can also just indicate wanting to have a change around. So you may be trying to come up with a financial plan, think about certain things differently. In any case, certainly if you've been having difficulties with finances, then this could indicate that there's going to be a change around of some kind. And again, air is also very intellectual. So just as we saw Earth here in the first house, air can indicate that you are putting a lot of sort of analysis and thought into this, which would make sense with the Hierophant. So yeah, so if you haven't been doing that, you know, certainly in the US, this is a tax time. So maybe some people are starting to do their taxes right now and, you know, just basically kind of get things in order. But there's definitely a sense of a traditional approach to finances right now. Third house is Gemini energy, and this has to do with communications, messages. It can have to do with short journeys, technology. This is anything ruled by Mercury. And it can also be sibling relationships, so brother-sister relationships. And if you are in your own business, this is definitely a card of self-effort. So we have here, okay, we have the Ten of Swords with water. To read the little thing up here. Basically, this gives me the angelic image, but it is connected to a particular tarot card. So I have to read that very carefully. Okay, so you have water here. So this, okay, Ten of Swords with water, there could be a bit of very emotional communication recently or some kind of a change. And the Ten of Swords indicates something that has very, very definitely come to an end. Now, I seem to recall last week, Aries, that you had something in your reading about certain kinds of struggles or things that were unexpected. I think you even had a tower moment somewhere in here. So you may be struggling with something that has very definitively come to an end. Whether it has to do with the communication, whether it has to do with perhaps a line of income or something connected to your business that you're saying, okay, you know, this is done. Or again, take it as it resonates because it's a general reading. For some of you, this will have to do with issues between brothers and sisters. And for some of you, this may connect to a business, but this could just be a message in general about an ending. Okay. And with water, there seems to be a sense here. I think there's an advice here that with the change, you need to go with the flow right now. Again, there could be a very strong emotional component to this, but there's a sense here that you need to adapt and flow with change. And even though this is a change, Ten of Swords can sometimes indicate a change that feels painful. But on the other hand, Ten of Swords has to do with changes where we're just glad to be done with something. Like, you know, okay, that's the end of the thing. You know, I'm done. You know, I'm ready to move on. You know, and so this can actually come as a relief. It can be an emotional relief as well. So this may be why you're kind of getting organized and getting practical here, because yeah, there definitely seems to be the sense that there's some significant change that's happened. So right now, the advice would be for you to just go with the flow. And with water there, I would suggest this is a case of following your heart rather than your head, at least with regard to whatever this relates to. Because we're definitely seeing a lot of cerebral energy over here. But this feels like this may have a more emotional component to it. Fourth house is Cancer energy. So this has to do with your home, family, your ancestry, your sense of security, your mother, potentially. Okay, and we have fire with the Two of Cups. So, okay, so fire has to do with solving a problem, like, you know, being inspired. It's funny because you've got, let me just see if you have all of them. You have, yeah, actually, you've got all 4 element cards right in a row. Earth, air, water, and fire, which is really strange. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it has happened in a reading in the 37 years I've been reading cartouche, but it's just very odd to see it like that. Because fire is indicating you're inspired, you're motivated, you're ready to. This could have to do with clearing out your house. This could have to do with resolving a problem. I don't know, connected to a family, connected to your mother, connected to something like that. Now, the Two of Cups is here, so I don't know if this has to do with somebody who is somebody coming into your sphere, if there's a relationship here, if this is a love relationship. Two of Cups definitely seems to imply something that is more romantic. So for some of you with fire, maybe this is somebody who's moving out. It could be the other way around, especially with the Ten of Swords over here. So I don't know, there's something connected to a partnership or relationship that is related to your home and perhaps to your family. And really with the Two of Cups, even though this is often interpreted as a love relationship, this could also have to do with a family liaison as well. It doesn't have to be love or some other close relationship, like if you have a roommate who's a close friend or something like that. But again, the Two of Cups definitely has a strong emotional component to it. So I don't know. There's definitely a sense of clearing out and being motivated and inspired to sort of clear things up and to move on with something, okay? Fire carries with it inspiration, and it carries with it the energy of purging. So yeah, so see how that resonates. But yeah, that's just really interesting. Houses 1 through 4, yourself, your finances, your, and your mess and your family, all very strongly elemental things, and they're all different, actually. They're not all the same. So because obviously different elements imply different things. Usually you will see a strong elemental, an element that will dominate a reading, and that can usually tell you whether or not you want to react more with your head, more with your heart, whether you need to focus on, practical things and keep your feet on the ground, or whether or not you need to take, more aggressive action on something. So I don't know. I would say in the home sector, there's more aggressive action potentially here. In terms of communications, there may be more of the heart. In terms of your finances, there's more analysis. And in terms of you may just be trying to keep your feet on the ground. So, okay, 5th house, Leo energy. Leo has to do with creativity, children, love affairs, recreation time, leisure, things that you might do for that. And you have Isis with the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so Ace of Pentacles is about new financial opportunities a lot of the time. Okay, so there's something new in terms of finances. And so maybe this is connected to a creative venture, something that you do creatively. It also could be connected to, this could also represent for some of you a new love affair or a new relationship, because aces do represent something that's new. Although pentacles tend to have more to do with finance than they do with love. But it's not unheard of that come up for that. So there could be some new thing that's starting, maybe something where you're planting a seed, waiting to see how it grows. But there's a very strong financial thing. This could also potentially have to do with a child as well. Again, take it as it resonates. Maybe there's a child who's getting their first job or something like that. If they're a teenager or something like that, that's not impossible here either. But there's definitely this sense of something new financially. So if you are working on a creative project, I don't know, maybe you're writing a book, doing a piece of music, maybe you are involved in dance and art, and it can also be other things too. I mean, it doesn't just have to be what we think of as arts in the humanities kind of sense. It can be some other kind of a thing as well. But nonetheless, there seems to be maybe a new financial opportunity. And we have it with Isis. So Isis, again, there's this idea of tuning into the emotions here. There's a strong mother energy attached to this, so I don't know if that applies for some of you in this particular house. But it can also just mean something that you need to persevere with and be patient. There could be some new opportunity, but maybe getting to where you want to be is going to require a certain level of patience. So, so take that as it resonates. 6th house, Virgo energy. So Virgo has to do with your health. It can have to do with a job or any level of service, as they call it, that you may be offering to others. And it also can have to do with things that you're worried or anxious about, sometimes with pets as well. So another ace, we have the Ace of Swords with Horus. Okay, so for some of you, this could be messages coming in about a health situation. Now, and getting very, very clear on something. So, and this could also have to do with family as well. So this could have to do with you. It could have to do with a family member. But there's definitely a sense of clear information that's coming in. Now, maybe that's where this Ten of Swords is coming in. Maybe the clear message that you're getting here is, the end to something, or maybe it's just something. Ace of Swords tends to bring messages that not only that bring stark clarity to something, but also maybe a little bit unexpected in the way that they come in. They may just come in very suddenly. Now, the thing is, Horus has a couple of different inflections. I mentioned family, but I also feel like this also is a card of health and a card of good health. So I don't know. Maybe this is connected to somebody's health situation. Ace of Swords may indicate a clarity about, what you need to do maybe to resolve a health situation, or messages coming in about that. Maybe that involves, I'm looking over here, ending something. So for example, like if somebody has gout, for instance, and that's their medical diagnosis, and it's very clear, then maybe you're not drinking as much beer or eating as much cheese or something. You know what I mean? It could be just something as simple as that. But nonetheless, there definitely seems to be something. It's either connected to you or, and I don't know why, but there's a family element to Horus that makes me think for some of you this has to do with a family member's either their health situation or just something you're worried about more generally. But again, we have this idea of new beginnings coming in, of changes, and of information that's coming in very, very quickly that will, perhaps bring an end to one situation and begin another one. Seventh house is Libra energy, and this has to do with partnerships. So it could be marriages, any kind of legal arrangement or partnership, whether it's a business partnership, a contract, something like that. It could also be for a long-term relationship. If you are in a relationship and thinking about whether or not it's going to have long-term potential, that would also be covered by this house. Okay, and so we have Urias with the Three of Cups. Now, the Three of Cups indicates a couple of possible things here. Three of Cups can indicate a celebration, okay, like going out with friends, going out with family, some kind of occasion where you are celebrating with somebody. If you're married, maybe your spouse has done something that is worth celebrating. Sometimes the three can indicate a third party. It can also indicate a reconciliation with somebody because there is a number 3 here. So take it as it resonates here, but you have it with Urias. So Urias indicates a situation that is not what it appears to be. What I'm hearing in my head for somebody, and this may not be for everybody, is that there may be a situation where you think a third party is involved, but it's not what it appears to be. That's what I'm feeling. And because the Three of Cups is actually a very positive thing. It has to do with sociability, it has to do with friends, has to do with things like that. So I don't know, maybe if you've got a partner and you're saying, well, I think that partner maybe has somebody else or something, I feel like the Three of Cups might be saying, whoever that other person is, they might just be a friend. Okay, that's what's coming into my head. It's not necessarily the meaning of this card in this context, but generally this is a very, very positive omen. And it also, to me, has to do with friendly support, and also has to do with the idea of getting out there, making yourself available to people. It's funny because we have this across from the Nine of Wands, or maybe you're feeling put out by something, but there's a sense here that in a partnership or relationship, remember we do have the Two of Cups down here, which may or may not be connected to this, but yeah, Urias, again, like it's next to this Ace of Swords, so I feel like there may be a situation here that is just going to come in that's very unexpected. For some of you, maybe you're going to a party or something, and unexpectedly you're going to meet a person who's going to be of significance to you. That's entirely possible here. And sometimes on the more, I don't know if I want to say negative side, but sometimes this can come up when we're unsure about a partnership of some kind, whether it be our spouse, whether it be a business partnership, where there may be some situation that is unexpected, or maybe we have a negative impression of something and it's saying, I feel like Urias often comes up when things are not as bad as we think they are, but there can be an element of secrecy with this card too. So you can take that as it resonates, but yeah, there's definitely something here connected to friendship, social events, or a reconciliation of some kind. Okay, 8th house, this is Scorpio energy, and this has to do with transformation. So this has to do with changes, like big changes, okay, to your life. Life, death kind of changes, or just huge milestones. We have lots of huge milestones in life. I mean, moving can be a huge milestone, right? Going to school for the first time can be, like college or whatever, to be a huge milestone. So take this as it resonates here. This can also have to do with other people's money. And you have the Buckle of Isis with the 8 of Swords. So, okay. So I feel, Aries, like you are up in your head about something. When 8 of Swords shows up, it means that we're kind of stuck in a mental trap. And with Buckle of Isis, this seems to indicate that getting out of this mental trap, making a sacrifice, maybe even yielding to some kind of loss over here, or just thinking about something differently. This could connect to a relationship from what I'm seeing with Urias. Maybe this connects to a home situation. I don't know, but there's something here where it's saying you giving something up or putting the work into something or separating from a situation, because sometimes this has to do with moving away from a collective situation, or maybe even reconnecting with one. I don't know. It can kind of go either way, but there's definitely this idea of sacrificing something and being rewarded for that sacrifice. So the fact that I'm seeing it with the Eight of Swords seems to indicate to me that if you would just allow yourself to drop the mind, drop this mental trap that you're in, you're going to find that things are going to be a lot happier. Maybe that's, maybe there's something here that is definitively ending and you need to go and flow with it. Like, again, seeing that down here, that you need to flow with it. In terms of finances or other people's finances, again, this could be a situation where maybe you're looking at something just one way, and or maybe you're counting on somebody else's money for something, and maybe you're kind of stuck in that, and maybe this is saying you need to drop that. I don't know. It's going to be different for everybody. Let's look at the 9th house. This is Sagittarius energy, and this has to do with expansion. It's Jupiter energy, so long distance travel, college, university, higher ed institutions, that kind of stuff. Religious institutions, potentially, anything that has to do with deeper or higher thought, and with travel. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles with the Ankh. So now, okay, this is a card of two potential things. Ankh has to do with love, and sometimes, like I see this card coming up when there's romantic love, and sometimes it just has to do with life. Okay, just enjoying life, like, living life to the fullest. In a house that's connected to health, it would say good, long life and vitality, like that kind of a thing. And you have it with this Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles could be an earth sign person. It could be somebody who makes you feel very comfortable, makes you feel at home. Maybe somebody with even potentially a motherly kind of a vibe. We are seeing this down here in the 5th house. So maybe this is somebody you love, who has this kind of energy or vibe for you. And this person is either something having to do with travel. Maybe either you have to take a long trip to see this person, or maybe they do to see you. Maybe there's a connection here to education or higher ed. That's kind of coming into my mind. So maybe there's somebody you know from school, or maybe you know somebody who's connected with education in some way, or maybe just with this higher learning, or maybe this is just a person, maybe this is a person that you're attracted to, but they may be somebody who is sort of a gate, somebody you feel comfortable with, who might be a gateway to your own expansion, to higher knowledge, to travel, to different things. So take it as it resonates, but I feel here like this Queen of Pentacles does represent a significant person. Interesting seeing like the Hierophant over here. There's like strong Taurus energy around this. So I don't know, this may just be a person who is either at a distance from you, or is going to make a trip, or you're going to make a trip, or something. Or again, there may be this educational connection, but I feel like this is somebody not only maybe who can either you love, or maybe who really will get you excited and impassioned about something, learning about something, or maybe this person is going to facilitate this in some way. So yeah, take that as it resonates. 10th house is Capricorn energy. This has to do with your career, reputation, your fame. This is Saturn energy. And we have, oh wow, we have Justice with the Crook and Flail. So for some of you, there's definitely something legal. Maybe you're working on taxes right now or something, because Crook and Flail is legal, and Justice, as you might guess, the two scales here that are held by the angel. Yeah, that's Libra energy, and there's definitely a sense of justice, or trying to keep something in balance. Crook and Flail can indicate a promotion of some kind. Maybe you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're making a lot more money. Maybe that's why you're taking all of this, having all this analysis and thought about your finances and where they're going. So I definitely feel like there's something here that's making you more visible, more seen. And with Justice, there's a sense of trying to keep things right, or keep things in balance for you right now. So I don't know. I feel like there may be whatever it is that you do, or whatever it is that you offer to people, whether you're currently in a job or career, or whether there's just something that you consider your legacy that you want to offer to people. It feels like there's definitely an uptick in visibility, and perhaps being seen as an authority figure in this way. Okay. So yeah, but I do feel like right now you may be trying to keep some things in balance. It does kind of feel that way with this. I feel like there's something to do with communications, with work. There's a lot here. I mean, this fact that you have the 9 of Wands in the beginning, it just feels like you might be a bit overburdened. Maybe your job is, or your career has to do with this, and you're trying to find that sweet spot, so to speak. Okay, 11th house is Aquarius energy. So this has to do with friendships. It can have to do with social networks, your hopes and wishes, your destiny, and you have the Sphinx with the Devil, okay? We have Samael here, the Devil. Okay, so this suggests, Sphinx suggests waiting and seeing on something. Devil can suggest a connection that is toxic. It can be a codependent situation. It can be an addiction. It can be, I don't know, it could just be something where you feel like there's a strong attachment. Now, this could be to a friend. This could be just something, this could be something that's impeding you from achieving a goal. Maybe there's just something that you're mired in that you feel like you can't get out of. And it's interesting because I'm seeing this Eight of Swords over here, and I feel like that might be connected. Like there might be some kind of a situation that maybe is toxic for you, and you're saying, yeah, I know, but I can't really get out of this. And now, Sphinx has a couple of possibilities here. Sphinx could indicate something that's secret. So there could be somebody in your friend circle and your network that's keeping a secret from you. Maybe you are watching somebody or some situation. Maybe you're waiting and seeing. But I feel like, I don't know, there's some kind of toxicity here, or there's some kind of feeling of something that is like you, how do I want to put this? Like, well, okay, for one thing, this could be lust for somebody too. I mean, let's be real, because sometimes the devil does have to do with a strong sensual urge towards somebody. But maybe it's a situation where you don't want to be entangled or attached. But again, seeing the Eight of Swords over here, I feel like there's some kind of situation. I feel like this is more of a mindset than, say, a person who's entangling you. I feel like this has more to do with the mindset. So this may be asking you to dig deep, to look deeper into something. Maybe you're just, whatever it is, whatever the situation is, whether this has to do with a friendship or whether this has to do with a hope and wish of yours, maybe this is saying you're just kind of hanging back and seeing what happens for right now. Because maybe you want to avoid any kind of toxic connections as well, or avoid getting into any kind of codependent situations. Or maybe there's somebody who maybe you don't think has your best interest at heart here. But I think you're waiting to see what's going to happen here. The fact that I'm seeing the Sphinx over there and Urias over here with the Three of Cups leads me to believe that there's some connection that maybe you think is toxic or is going to be toxic, but actually isn't. That's not normally the way I interpret those, but that is kind of what I'm feeling here. Okay, now let's look at the 12th house. This is Pisces energy. So Pisces has to do with what you, what's hidden, what you don't see. This has to do with, what you don't see, what you might be afraid of. The first house is what you're showing people. This is what you keep hidden, maybe what you're even repressing. And we have the Emperor with Sirius. Okay, so unconsciously, I think there's a fear here that you are going to lose control of a situation. And that maybe you're not going to have the resources. I mean, Sirius has to do certainly with physical strength, taking the rough with the smooth. And I can see how it would relate to the Nine of Wands in the first house. And you are Aries. So the fact that you have Emperor, which is Aries energy in the 12th house, you may be pushing things back. You may be suppressing emotions. You may be suppressing this fire that we see down here in the second house. The fourth house. I think you are, and I think there's a fear that I feel like you feel like you need to keep control of a big situation, but maybe, again, I always compare the 8th and the 12th houses, and the fact that I have the 8 of Swords here and the Emperor here, I feel like control is an issue here. And I think you are the type of person who's very independent and likes to keep control of everything. And I like you to think, and of course you like to think that you have the strength. Sirius is about having the strength to do a lot of different things, to be able to, again, take the rough with the smooth, having the physical energy, having everything else. But I think you may be in doubt about whether or not you really have this control, at least unconsciously, whether consciously or not. And Sirius, to me, as a piece of advice obviously, yes, you need to get control of whatever your situation is, but sometimes you gain control by relinquishing control. Sirius would indicate thinking outside the box on a particular situation. And you, Aries, just as a sign, tends to be more of an action person, a go-getter. When I want to do something, I'm going to get it done. And this may be saying that you need to think differently, because it could be that the way that you're doing things is actually just draining you. That's kind of what I feel here. Overall, you have the Five of Pentacles with the Winged Disc. So Five of Pentacles, okay, so right now it's almost like you're feeling like you're either, maybe you're worried about money, because sometimes Five of Pentacles does have to do with worries about finances. This, and maybe that's why we're seeing all of this, although all indications seem to be that your money situation may be expanding rather than contracting. But this also could be a sense of feeling isolated on the outside, out in the cold in some way. But you have the Winged Disc. So the Winged Disc is like literally overcoming all of your obstacles. So I don't know. I feel overall, Aries, that perhaps you are feeling, because perhaps your energy is compromised right now, perhaps you're feeling exhausted. So I think you're being pessimistic about a situation and thinking, or it's just that you have boxed yourself kind of into this mental corner here with the Eight of Swords, thinking there's only one way that you can do things, and this may be making you feel drained. I think there's another way to do things for you. And I also think that maybe you are reacting to a situation, maybe with a person. There definitely seems to be some relationship at stake here, whether this is a past or present relationship, I don't know. But I feel like there's somebody with whom you should be celebrating, but instead you're kind of being suspicious of. I don't know. There's some element to that, or just some kind of a situation that you think you may be bringing in a past reaction or something, or you may, to a situation, rather than seeing, you may be looking at a past situation and looking at, say, a new person and saying, oh, this new person's going to be just like the old person. But I don't think that's accurate. I think that, you need to basically expand your mind a little bit. You need to think about things a little bit differently. And that the changes that you make and the sacrifices that you make and the risks you take, I think are going to end up being rewarded here. You definitely have this idea of connection. You have certain things that are ending. You have new beginnings in here. Let's see what the Fairy Oracle has to say for you. Okay. See, one card, please, like for Aries for this week. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay, this is interesting. You have the Glanconer and you have Lease of the Shadows. Okay, now this is interesting because, the Glanconer indicates, again, like a glamour, like seeing something and maybe not seeing it for what it is in some way. Like there's either some kind of a glamour, either something looks better or worse than what it is. And you have it with Lease of the Shadows, which has to do with the steps that we take towards self-esteem and self-respect, okay? So it's almost like you're in a new life situation. I feel like this is a new emotional situation for you. And maybe you've got this image of it that maybe is not correct, because the Glanconer tends to be like the glamour that's thrown on something. So it's not, something is not what it appears to be. There's an illusion here. So you're thinking, you're seeing a situation a certain way, and this is saying that's illusory. But some of this may be because you are trying to rebuild self-esteem over something in some ways, or you have a new beginning where you're unfamiliar. They say this is the card of like taking those first wobbly steps towards self-esteem and towards building yourself up. So there's definitely this sense here that you need to, there's this idea of building self-esteem, building self-respect, not allowing yourself to be taken in by illusions in some way. Like there's a need here to not see. You may be either looking at something either through rose-colored glasses, or you just may be seeing something incorrectly. Judging from what I'm seeing here, I'm not sure that there's rose-colored glasses here. I think you're actually seeing something as worse than what it is. So, so anyway, so that's what we have for you this week, Aries. I hope this reading was helpful. If you do like this channel, again, please do hit this subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get informed about each and every one of these. Do hit the thumbs up on this, and leave me a comment if you would like. So that's it for this week. I hope you have a very good week, and we'll see you next time.